There are a lot of businesses throughout the United States that discriminate against people even nowadays in the year 2011. The United States has been a very anti-barefoot country since the counterculture movement of the 1960s. Business establishments would deny admittance to barefoot hippies. Many arguments have been presented from businesses to support this act of discrimination against the paying customer. Businesses would lie to a customer and say things like, "The health department requires customers to wear shoes," or "OSHA requires shoes." Other customers are offended or have complained about someone being barefoot. Another thing you'll hear is that it's for your own safety or it is a liability, and we don't want you to sue us if you're barefoot. All of these objections that businesses use to discriminate are false and quite illegal. To understand why it is discrimination, we first need to look at the reason why people go barefoot. There are many reasons. Personal choice, the freedom to do so and express themselves. This is a lifestyle that they have chosen. People also go barefoot for religious and cultural reasons. Some members of religions and cultures do so out of tradition, or as a rites of passage, or as part of the religious practice. There's also medical reasons. Some people have disabilities or deformities and medical conditions, and it is better for them medically or impossible for them to wear shoes. Let's take a look at why this discrimination is illegal. On July 26th of 1990, the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 was enacted by the U.S. Congress that prohibits discrimination based on disability. As far as civil rights include the assuring of people's physical integrity and safety, protection from discrimination on grounds such as physical or mental disability, gender, religion, race, national origin, age, sexual orientation, or gender identity, and individual such as the freedoms of thought and consciousness, speech and expression, religion, the press, and movement. We also need to look at human rights. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or the UDHR, is a declaration adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on the 10th of December, 1948. Everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration, without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of the political, jurisdictional, or international status of the country or territory to which a person belongs, whether it is independent, trust, non-self-governing, or under any other limitation of sovereignty. Article 3 also states that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. Now, most businesses will tell barefoot customers that they do not want their business by saying things like, "The health department requires you to have shoes on to shop in here." They post signs that say "No shoes, no service" by order of the health department. The Society for Barefoot Living took the task of proving this untrue. Members wrote letters to all 50 health departments across the United States to show that this was a lie. The health department does not require patrons to wear shoes, shirts, or leave their pets outside in order to be a customer. Whether it is a restaurant, food store, gas station, or other public or private establishment, the health department is concerned with the employees and the equipment that handles, prepares, and stores food. The health department is concerned with refrigeration and heat temperatures, food handling, and contamination of food or foodborne illnesses. Around the world, and even in the United States, many businesses post just the opposite. Smart business owners, however, such as CEOs, presidents, they want to survive in this economy and do not discriminate and open themselves up to lawsuits by posting signs that are against it but they post signs that are more barefoot friendly, such as these. OSHA. OSHA is another objection that you hear a lot about. You can't come in here barefoot because of OSHA. What is OSHA? OSHA is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. It's part of the United States Department of Labor. Now, what does OSHA do? Well, OSHA's purpose is to save lives, prevent workplace injuries and illnesses, and protect the health of all American workers. This includes efforts to protect groups of workers or the individual worker from small to large organizations that may be particularly vulnerable to injury or face special hazards. So it regulates the workers, not the customers. You will also hear liability. Many businesses have employees or executives that are misinformed or have no idea what the laws really are when it comes to liability. They are afraid of their customers, so they react by disrespecting them and chasing them away simply because they do not understand. They say things like, "You could sue us if you get hurt. We would be liable if you hurt yourself." I've even heard things like, "There is glass all over the floor." Or in a doctor's office, "We have needles on the floor that you could step on." This just says the establishment is unclean and you would not want the product or service they offer. The business has just informed you that they are dirty and they maintain a dangerous environment for their customers and their employees. That, and they do not follow the procedures, rules, or laws that regulate them, but they make up their own set of rules to chase money out of their doors. The reality is that if someone chooses to enter an establishment barefoot and they hurt their feet, the business is not liable, nor would that customer sue the business. In order to sue a business for any injury, 4 elements must be established. One of the first elements is the duty of care to the customer. The next is a breach of that duty, or negligence. They must also establish the causal link between the breach and the harm. And then you must prove the actual harm or damage. Regarding duty of care in general, a business owner is not the insurer of a customer's safety. The owner must only guard against unreasonable risks about which the customer would not be otherwise aware of, or a risk that the customer could not anticipate. Barefooters enjoy their freedoms, so they do not want to sue, even if they did get hurt by stepping on something or something falls on their foot. Safety. Actually, bare feet are safer than wearing shoes. Barefooters are more aware of where they step, and they avoid sharp objects. They're also able to walk around them, or if they feel something sharp, they normally back up, which doesn't allow it to puncture the shoe and cause any damage. Heels and shoes do lead to injury. There are more injuries due to people in heels and shoes than there are to people with bare feet. Shoes can also be slippery and unsafe on certain floors and carpets. Another thing you would hear is that it's unsanitary. This is not true either. You wash your feet every time you bathe. Do you wash your shoes? Shoes are dirtier than feet. The barefooter is less likely to step on animal droppings. The person with shoes normally steps in it and tracks it wherever they walk. The barefooter, even if they do step in it, would normally clean their feet right away. Shoes also cause all kinds of problems, like fungal and bacteria infections, like athlete's foot. They also cause dry skin, corns, warts, bunions, ingrown toenails, hammer toe, and even spurs. Barefooters often hear things from employees of businesses that it's offensive, or other customers have complained. This is something that has been said a few times. Most of the time, nobody complained. The employee is just using that to further their own ignorance so that they can blame the stupidity on someone else. Bare feet are not offensive to most people. In fact, there are more people that are offended or think of tattoos, body piercings, body modifications, certain people's hairstyles and colors, the style of dress, are more offensive than bare feet. If they are out in public, then they need to accept that not everyone lives by other people's standards. Businesses should embrace the cultural diversity in the community that they operate in. It seems that stores that discriminate against barefoot customers do so because they see barefoot customers as just the average person that is insignificant. Maybe they have no money, or be a troublemaker. Would they treat some of the country's elite the same way? No, they do not. They brag and boast about it. From the neighborhood cafe to the red carpet, exceptions are made, but why not for the common individual that is barefoot for cultural, religious, medical, or personal reasons? As a business owner or a member of the community, you would not post signs discriminating against cultures such as Jews, Muslims, Mexicans, African Americans, Native Americans, people that do not speak English, or if they wear robes. They certainly wouldn't try to isolate or deter business to the deaf, the blind, or the lame. Just because the sign says no pets or animals, the blind man does not leave his seeing eye dog outside. If your policy does not allow motorized vehicles in your establishment, does that mean the power chair stays outside and the customer that needs it crawls through the store to shop or eat? We should hope not. The signs that discriminate should be replaced with welcoming, friendly signs. Signs that tell customers, "We want your business." Signs that do not proclaim ignorance, but acceptance. For businesses, it starts with management educating the employees that deal with customers on a daily basis. For the individual, it starts with accepting cultural diversity in your community. It is time we stop the discrimination.